But you bind favor around you, and before you realize, say, I would like to help. My God, I'm going to bind all of you around me here. This is what we call wrestling prayer. Wrestling. You know wrestling. Wrestling prayer. Aggressive. In wrestling, anything goes. That is the type of prayer Jesus prayed in the Garden of Gethsemane. He prayed a wrestling prayer. That is the prayer Jacob prayed. It was a wrestling prayer. And wrestling, anything goes. He grabbed the angel's leg. He grabbed his hands. He said, you are not going. So these are some of the prayer points that we do at home, where you find yourself, which I've done before, grabbing your pillow and making it like it is Jesus and holding the leg and rolling. Some people even, excuse me to use this word, pray alone in their home naked in wrestling prayer. The spiritual man, the father that I followed his ministry since I was very young, Maurice Arose, he said, when it comes to a desperate time, I lock myself and strip myself out. And I talk to God. That is the type of prayer that when the witches prayed, you are in trouble. If a witch prays naked, you must look for 4 bottles of oil, a whole bucket of communion wine. One day we were in Ghana, we went to the park to pray. There's a park there. I called a pastor friend of mine. He was also like Kenneth, very committed guy. I asked him about 2 a.m. I said, follow me to the park, let's go and pray. And as we were going, we went to the park. Whilst we are at the other side of the park praying, we heard something there, and I threw my torch there. A woman naked in the middle of the park with her buttocks on the floor, pulling it like that. I said, the person this woman is cursing is cursed. I really went to the woman. I tapped her. I asked her, what are you doing here? She chatted up. And when you hear the prayer she's praying there, I don't know who he was cursing. And I really wanted to know that person, because that person is in serious trouble. Naked in the middle of the park. Hey, I told Jonathan, these people know how to pray than us. So when I read that book and Maurice Arlos told me that, I realized that when it comes to wrestling prayer, it is life or death. I'll tell you a story. Can I? Are you sure you want to hear this story? There was a woman that was pursuing my life. That time, I don't even know what I have. I've just come out of Germany, and myself, I'm going through some things. And this woman is just after me. So one day, Sunday, we were going to service. I told Mr. Mary and the children, you go, because the Lord spoke to me and said, wait here. So when they went, I closed the door. And I've not yet dressed. So I started praying. But something came upon me like a heavy load. But as I prayed and shouting and things and screaming in like your body is being torn apart, I saw the thing lifted. And when the thing lifted, it was like a heavy load upon my head is gone. And I felt free at the same time. I stood up, dressed, went to church. When I arrived in church, not quite 1 hour, a message came to us that so and so has collapsed. What is the about? Bring me that flower. That hour that the thing lifted from my head, a tree in front of that woman's house that she plucks the leaves to drink every time, the left side of the tree broke and her left side paralyzed. And within seconds, I'm not talking of minutes, within seconds, this green tree turned to brown. The moment I arrived to the house, I knew this woman is dead. And Then I knew she was the one that I was struggling with, because he wants to overshadow you. So wrestling prayer is always needed when something wants to overshadow you. And wrestling prayer is not praying with two people, it's you alone. This is not tithing match. This is Bugatti and whoever, 1-to-1. Are you getting what I'm talking to you about? Can you take it away? Resting prayer is 1-to-1. So sometimes you wait until your partner or somebody has left and you lock up yourself in the house and you scream to God. Or you take your car and drive to the park and say, me alone today, whatever is having me down, you are leaving me today. And you can't even describe the words you use. The words will come by itself. It's like a thief beginning to harass you at an unknown place. All of a sudden some fighting spirits come in you, and you never knew that there is that violent spirit inside you. That is wrestling prayer. And some of us have prayed that prayer before, but maybe you have not gone deeper. Anything that weighs you down, you must stand alone and say, Lord, it must go. David went alone. Daniel prayed alone. Wrestling prayer until Gabriel was released. Gabriel, angel Gabriel. Who wants to wrestle tonight? And I'm telling you, that wrestling prayer, you will not even feel like eating. But I'm telling you, come out of that wrestling prayer with the title in your hands. Young Cho said, the man with the largest church in the world in Korea, he said he never had a victory until one day he was praying. And as he was praying, he said one day he saw this, they brought a certain woman to her for deliverance. And instead of he casting out the devil started chasing him. He said he was shouting and saying, come out. And the devil said, I won't come out. They were struggling for 7 hours until he got tired. And when he got tired, he sat down. The woman with the demons also sat in front of him. And then he pointed to the woman and said, come out. And the demon said, I won't come out. Because both of them are tired. He said, I said, come out. The demon said, I said I won't come out. You better watch that spiritual warfare. It's powerful. So he said, as he was saying that, he fell into a trance. And then he saw a snake, big snake that has coiled around the place. So all of a sudden, fire entered into him and he rose up and made wrestling battle with the snake. Not the woman, but he's battling in another corner. Then he put the head of the snake under and smashed the head, and the eyes of the snake protruded like this. Came out, and the teeth came out. And he took the snake in the spirit and showed it to the town and said, this is what you've been worshiping for years. He said by the time he finished that prayer at the corner and came, the woman was in her senses. The spirit is gone. So as he was taught, and the woman was the wife of one of the prominent people in the place. So as they were talking, before they could realize, a crowd of people were coming. Say, hey, today I am dead. They are coming to beat me. When they arrived at the place, a woman that was paralyzed, who cannot even walk, the woman stood up and said she had a dream that young Gicho came and picked her up and said, rise up and walk in Jesus' name. When the victory was taking the wrestling, things begin to take care by themselves. So wrestling is always after the principality. If we don't go after the principality and remove their teeth in wrestling, I pray that tonight there shall be a wrestling match in your house. And I'm not joking with words today. May God help you to wrestle with the darkness that is trying to hinder your life. Because when you break that wrestling power, all the other things will follow by themselves. Number 3, the prayer